This is Keith Boggs, so this is the inspection debrief for 7849 Crampton Lane. Is that pronounced right? Crampton. We got about 70 pictures here. First picture you see here is just a picture of the front of the house. Nothing necessarily wrong. That's just for the title page of the report. This is the approximate direction the house is facing, so it's facing almost directly east. This will be in the report, not in the main body. I'm not even sure if it's in a section you can see, but it will be in the report. And this is the temperature we got here. So it's above 60, but below 80, so that allowed us to test both the air conditioning and the heat, which is good. This is your water meter. So this is a little short video. There's a little, you can't see it in this picture, but there's a little gauge here, digital gauge that runs when the water runs. And if there's a leak, if everything in the house is off and there's a leak, it'll be running.
Yeah.
It's very sensitive. So I look at it stared at it for a couple minutes, look for any kind of movement, and there wasn't any here. But I'm gonna go ahead and show you this video so you have it for this recording. It's only about 30 seconds long. So that's good. No supply. That's unless you can't. So everything was fine on the supply side.
Okay.
This is just the location of the meter we were just looking at.
Okay.
This is your double check valve for your sprinkler system, and it looked fine. And it's located right here.
Okay.
This is, since I didn't walk on the roof, I looked for things on the exterior that would show if there's any kind of hail damage. And this does have hail damage on it. You can see some hits there. Now that probably was from before when I got the roof replaced. So I did look at the roof with binoculars, but it's, until you walk on it, you're not getting really a 100% picture of it. So it'll just say in the report, I couldn't walk on the roof because it was raining and wet, and that the roof should be evaluated, unless you feel comfortable with what the seller tells you. That's just a location of that. This is heavy vegetation. It's touching the structure. So if you're doing a VA loan or FHA loan, they're going to want that heavy vegetation, any conducive condition for termites, to be remediated. In other words, in this case, trimmed away from the structure. They won't fund the loan. Some small banks are this way too. They won't fund the loan until those conducive conditions are removed. I did not see any termites here, so I'm going to offer you a 1-year termite warranty for free.
Okay.
I'll show you. I got a picture of where the sticker is located. We'll show you that here in a minute. This is, I don't know if you can see. This is where your double cleanouts are.
Okay.
This is just for your information, right there and there. This is the water pressure to the house. The range is 40 to 80, and you're just a little bit above 40, about 45. Now everything seemed fine in the house, but that's just me running a few fixtures at the same time. Even though it's within the range, and I can't really call it out and say there's a problem with it. I've had some experiences when the water pressure gets on the lower end of the range. Let's say, for example, it's Christmas time, you get a bunch of people in the house. Dishwasher's going, clothes washer's going. Somebody's in this powder bathroom. Sprinkler system comes on.
Right.
Another shower's going on, and then you go to get in your shower, and the water's not coming out that hard.
Okay.
So this can, again, it's not really a defect because it's within the range of 40 to 80, and this can be increased by installing a pressure reducing valve in an expansion tank. But that's about $1,000 for that. But I'd wait to make sure it's before you invest in any kind of money.
Sure.
It may be fine for you. In some cases it is. This is an outlet at the front, and it's missing is what's called a weather tight cover. So this outlet here needs to have a weather tight cover installed.
Okay.
This is more vegetation touching the structure. Again, that's a conducive condition. And then this is a deck touching the structure, also a conducive condition for termites. Plus we can't see behind here. The exterior looks fine. I don't think there's anything hidden under here, but it'll state in the report that it's a conducive condition, and I couldn't see behind there.
Okay.
This is an area where the water is kind of ponding near the condenser. I think this is part of the problem. He's blocked this off, I guess, with the dogs with these bricks, and you got dirt debris that is gathered around here, and it's not letting this water escape. So it may not be an issue. Remove those, and then we'll see if that drains.
Okay.
It'll be in the report because it is currently a drainage situation. Anything deeper than an inch, which this is, could take a couple days, 2-3 days to drain completely. So if you have animals, it's going to be a mess. It can also attract mosquitoes.
Right.
It can attract rodents.
Yeah.
snakes, anything looking for a water source. This is your condenser here. They've got it really close to the veneer here, so it's not getting good airflow. I don't remember the code off of my head. I'm gonna have to check on this, but I believe there's a code that states how close this condenser can be to the wall. I'll find that out tonight though, for sure.
Okay.
This is your manufacturer's label. This is really just for me. Some of these pictures are really just for me. This is so I can verify the max breaker, which is 50. So I look at the panel box, I can go, oh, okay, it's the right breaker, it's the wrong breaker. This is the location of a gas meter. This is just for your information. And this is a trim board that's separating from the veneer, showing a little bit of movement. This is also where that water is ponding. So having ponding water can cause the soil to expand and contract and can cause some of this stuff to go on. So if you fix that drainage problem, and you probably better fix this, and it may not move very much at all. It's not structurally significant, even as it sits right now.
It's more decorative.
It's more cosmetic, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just a little separation. People always ask about that.
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to see several pictures in the report, and there'll be a statement stating that the garage basically it's going to say the garage is full of many items, and that I cannot completely inspect some of these areas because they're covered up. So you just want to, it'll go on to say you need to consult with the seller and just say, the inspector said there was a bunch of stuff in the garage. He couldn't see. Is there anything hidden that we need to know about? We just want them to disclose it. So those are the 3 areas. But there's a bunch of stuff. Excuse me. This is your water heater. That's your manufacturer's label. The only problem is this is what's called a TPR valve, and it's seized up. It should be replaced every 4 years, whether it works or not. So it needs to be replaced. That's about $200. Also, I couldn't get into this, really look into inside this burner compartment because this shelf is right there. I can't really get in there, look in there. So if you want to know the age, I can look it up for you.
Is that original, maybe to the home, 06?
I'll have to look it up. You can look it up online and put the model number, serial number, which you can't see very well there. But yeah, it's probably 10 years old.
Yeah.
And water heaters, they're usually good 10 to 15 years. I've seen them 30, 40 years old. That's unusual, but they can last a long, long time.
I think we're going to do tankless.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good. These are lights in the garage that did not come on. You can see there's power going to them right here. This light bulb didn't come on, and these didn't come on. Probably just burnt out bulbs. So we just have to have the seller install new bulbs and show you that the lights do work. Okay, this is inside the panel box. This is very normal right here. These are arc fault breakers doing their job. This is a lighting circuit. See how it's hot? This is the wire running up like that. Okay, so it's a lighting circuit. So these are lighting circuits. Along here, you generally don't see anything on a lighting circuit. So he may have something hooked up in there that's causing it to pull a lot of power on this, or there may be a problem with that circuit. So just to be safe, for peace of mind, we're going to get an electrician out here to have him take a look at that breaker. And it's the breaker. Well, you can see the wire right there.
Yeah, I think he's handy, and I think maybe he's done some things.
Yeah, there's a heater in there, and I wonder if he put that heater onto this circuit, giving it putting too much on that circuit.
He uses a shop.
Yeah, so that may be the problem, but we don't know for sure. And just to be safe. Yep. It says garage, and I think it says I don't know what that says. Garage heating. Okay, so and family nook. So it looks like to me garage kitchen and family nook maybe. It's kind of hard to read. This is a video of the garage door test. So we do 2 tests of the garage door. Pressure reverse test, where we put something in front of there and it hits it, and it should reverse after a second or 2. And then an electronic eye test, where I put my foot in front of the eye and it should reverse. So I'm going to go ahead and play this so you have it for the recording. Sounds like it needs a little lubrication.
Yeah, it's a little
loud.
Yeah.
So that's the pressure test, and then you'll see it close again, and then I'll stick my foot in front of there, make sure that the eye works. And it did. This is the sprinkler system. You do have 4 zones. They all did work.
Okay.
This is the area you're asking about. To me, this looks like framing members that were wet, that haven't dried out yet. Does not look like mold to me. So the repair that they did appears to be holding. If there's any moisture in there, the thermal camera clearly sees mold and moisture.
Okay.
Mold looks exactly what you look like under a microscope. It looks
black and
it's brown and it just looks. You can just tell. So since there's been a past repair, and this looks like framing to me, I think this is probably just the framing. It hasn't dried out yet.
Okay.
And that's just the area right there. This is a second look at that. I wanted to see what was going on as the inspection went forward, and it still looked the same. Sometimes these things will change, but it still looked the same.
Okay.
This is one of the front windows by the front door, and there's a tension bar in here that is very loose. That window, if you open it, it kind of doesn't really open very smoothly.
Okay.
So somebody needs to service that window. This one right here.
Maybe that's one that he replaced.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly. This is just showing the fireplace does work. That won't be in the report. That's just to show you that it does work.
There are no logs. It's just gas.
No, it's just gas.
Oh.
Yeah, he hadn't installed them.
Okay.
They can get pretty expensive.
Oh, okay.
This is your dishwasher. This is me testing it, and it was heating. That's just a manufacturer label. Again, these things won't be in the report. They're just for us right now, really, for me. The disposal does not work, so that needs to be evaluated. It is clear that did they disclose that, or?
No.
Okay. This is to remind you that I did fill up both the sinks with water, or remind me to tell you I did fill up both the sinks with water, pulled the plungers at the same time, and try to, usually you run the disposal to overload it, but when I drained it, no leaks appeared.
Okay.
This is a microwave, manufacturer's label. The light does not work underneath, the surface light. This is just, the microwave itself does work. This is just me heating a glass of water. Okay. This is an outlet to the right of the cooktop, and it's loose in the wall. It needs to be tightened up. This won't be in the report. This is just so you know that it needs to be tightened up. That one right there. This is in the powder bath. It's missing. Well, the drain stop's there, but it's not connected in there.
What do you mean it's not connected?
Yeah, he doesn't. I'm assuming he doesn't know how to do it. You just put it in, and if you turn it, it kind of will hook. There's a little thing down there.
Oh,
okay. It kind of hooks into it. So when you pull that thing up and down, it goes up and down.
Okay.
So he probably didn't know to do that. So when he puts it in there, it just stays stuck. So he just removed it. That's what I'm guessing. I don't know for sure, but that's usually. This railing here is a little bit loose at the bottom.
Okay.
Just something to be aware of. It's not super loose, just a little bit. This is an upstairs bedroom. This bedroom over here, and it's the register is coming loose from the ceilings. That needs to be put back in place.
Okay.
That's the one right there, that bedroom.
Yeah.
This is a little short video of the condenser. It sounded fine. If you think there's a problem, one day you think it sounds weird, you can come back to this video. If you save it to your hard drive, and you can kind of listen to it and see, okay, it sounds the same or it doesn't sound the same.
Yeah.
Come on, play.
Yeah, it does look close to the.
Yeah, it's really, really close. But it's definitely an airflow thing. You're not getting airflow on all four sides.
So I guess this was replaced because would the builder have done that?
Well, the builder shouldn't have done it, and neither should a HVAC guy. Either one of them did it. They would have had it. If this builder did it, the city would have came out during the HVAC install. And if a contractor did that, or an AC guy did that, if he pulled a permit, then they would have to come out and evaluate it too. Okay. So that doesn't mean that it wasn't done without a permit. But Okay, sorry. The only reason I took this picture is that some of this flooring up here, it looks like it's pretty cheap flooring.
Yeah.
It's delaminating and coming apart at spots. So I just wanted you to be aware of that. It's mainly just cosmetic. This is the depth of the insulation. This type of insulation should be 7 3/4, and it's right around 8. So insulation was fine. Just like in the garage, there's stuff in the attic that is covering part of the attic. Again, I don't think anything's hidden there, but we just want to ask the seller, is there anything under these boxes the inspector couldn't see? This is your air handler or your evaporator or heater, whatever. They call it different things. This is the filter. It's a 20 by 25 or 24 by 1, but you can actually use a 4-inch. I would use a 4-inch because you got to go in the attic. In the summertime, it's hot. This has to be replaced every month. 4-inch you can replace. They have them up to a year. Drain pan's not required, but I always recommend, since the air handler is above the second floor, either putting a condensate switch on the condensate.
Oh yeah, we had that problem at the last house.
Okay, so that's I'll put it in the report. If they won't do it, it's not that expensive, and I would do not a pan switch. I would do a condensate switch. It's better than a pan switch. So this is the AC differential. So this is basically how well the AC is operating, and we're looking for between 15 and 20 degrees. So we got a 44 on the supply and a 64, so 20 degrees. So it's cooling perfectly. Now this is the problem. The heating is not working. Not heating at all.
Was the gas on, or?
The gas of the house is on, yeah.
Hmm.
So somebody needs to take a look at the heater. These are just reading heat ratings. So that's the last picture I did. I have to do the final calculations on the flooring, but it looks like the foundation is pretty much level, but then a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch. Once I do the calculations, they're so close. So basically, when I take a 0 point here and then I take measurements to see if the difference is high or low, then when I do my numbers later on, I'll have to subtract or add to get the numbers equaled out. It looks like it's pretty much everywhere very close to level, and definitely within acceptable variations. You can be up to 2 inches, and it looks like maybe a 1/4 inch or a 1/2 inch in some spots, maybe not even that.
So overall, some little electrical things going on. That's what I feel is the overall take from.
And the heat.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna take just some photos of each room.
Okay.